No, I chant always before, because I need all the energy to deal with it. It's not a joke, huh? Serious. Hello. This is a young man wandering around. Now, this chapter is titled Dhyana Yoga or Abhyasa Yoga, and not yet in a single stanza anything about meditation has been discussed. I mean, practical. Why? Because you need a lot of preparation before you sit down and start meditating. So the preparation is on before the technique is described. This is why. Otherwise it could have started with sit comfortably, keep your head straight. No, it will come. But till then, you need a background where we are going. What is the state of mind that can meditate? Right? So, last one, we talked about lifting the dejected mind with the positive mind, and now we are continuing. Bandhur atmat manastasya yan atmaiva atmana jitah anatmastu shatrutve varthet atmaiva shatruvat. By him who has subdued the dejected self by the positive self, the self becomes a friend. Now you can call this, where self is used, you can also use the word mind. The mind, not always, but here in this context. The mind then acts like a friend, which means to him who has subdued the lower dejected mind by the higher positive mind, the self becomes a friend, acts like a friend. But to him who has lost his higher self, the positive self, by the dominance of the lower self, the self itself becomes the enemy, always hostile to him. But if you manage to lift up the dejected mind by the positive mind, there are many ways of doing it. Even cracking a joke is all right. Then the mind becomes your friend. If you allow the dejected mind to take the upper hand, then your own mind becomes your enemy. It's all a question of the mind, right? This is what we read just now. But one who has conquered his mind, what happens? Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tata manapamaniyo. But one who has conquered, one whose higher mind, the positive mind, the subtle mind, has conquered the lower mind, which is dejected, which is gross. Such a self remains steady and unperturbed in the experience of the pairs of opposite like heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. Also, if you look at it, much of the negativity of the mind is caused by how we react to other people's ideas and suggestions. On a beautiful day, it's very easy to make a person depressed simply by saying, "Oh, you look very sad today." Only require the words. The moment we begin, maybe I'm sad, I don't know what happened to me. See that? So the thing is, if you see anybody, even with a sad mind, you say, "Oh, you look fine today." The power of positive thinking. So, the Gita says, in this chapter, he has conquered his mind, which means he does not let the desperate, dejected mind to take hold, who has succeeded in keeping most of the time the positive mind going through practice, through Abhyasa. Such a mind remains steady and unperturbed. When there is heat or cold, when heat and cold is just a metaphor to show the two opposites. And no, don't say that because I've become a yogi, I'm going to take off all my shirt and go and stand. It's cold, but I don't care. It's not that. It's the mind. It's a metaphor to show that both opposites do not affect your mind. And pleasure and pain. Look, in this world, pleasure and pain generally go hand in hand. If you indulge in the pleasure of having beautiful, very tasty food, you end up overeating, and the pain starts after a while. If you're not careful, even others feel the pain in the in the air. So it's obvious, which means always be on guard. When something is nice and good, there might be something not so nice lurking behind the pillar. So we're prepared for it, ready for it. If you're ready for it, then you can handle it as it comes. If pleasure and pain are just two parts or two sides of the same coin on this earth. And without pain, you cannot enjoy any pleasure. People have worked hard, that is pain actually. And then they're enjoying the fruits of the labor. And if you think, I will not do anything, I will enjoy the fruit, there is no fruit to enjoy. And pain also is usually, you know what is pain? Absence of pleasure itself becomes pain. And this little whiff of happiness that you get in this world, the moment it happens and you begin to get dependent on it and try to hold on to it, pain has started again. Because it's trying to go away and you're trying to pull it back. The pain is already paired with the happiness, with the pleasure. So if you can look at both, says the Gita, not me, as the kind of same, two sides of the same coin, and move forward in life, then the mind becomes balanced. Now there's also honor and dishonor. What does it matter if somebody doesn't honor you? Somebody dishonors, so what? What does it really mean? It means nothing. Again, it's merely words. Yesterday I told you, somebody calls me a fool and I don't know English. What does it matter to me? Right? So it's words, so don't. The other thing is, sometimes it is better that people dishonor you than honor you. Because then you can reflect, there must be some reason why I'm being dishonored. If you are kept honored all the time, sometimes you might commit mistakes and just go over. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm honored, who cares? Right? But a mind who has achieved that balance, to stay imperturbed, unperturbed in the middle of pain and pleasure, unperturbed in the phase of finding that what I said was wrong, unperturbed in failure also, and not too excited when something is very wonderful. When they check your blood pressure, it's good to forget about all excitement. Sit quietly, take a few deep breaths, and they say, now it is normal. So, even from the blood pressure point of view, this is a good statement. So, in one who has conquered his mind, the self remains steady and unperturbed in the experience of the pairs of opposites like heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. I think that is clear. Now, jnana vijnana triptatma kutasto vijitendriya yukta iti uchyate yogi samalostasma kanchana. A yogi whose mind or spirit has attained contentment through knowledge, through understanding, that there is no point in getting affected by the opposites, and who is calm, and this is all preparation for meditation, whose mind is calm and unperturbed, who has subdued his senses. Very often now the dining hall and your sitting room are in the same room, right? You say, nobody's here, let me sit down. Then comes nice sambar. So, if your senses are under control when you sit down, to such a yogi, a lump of earth and a bar of gold are alike, except that the Bank of England will not accept a lump of mud. Such a yogi is said to have attained steadfastness in spiritual communion. Yogi simply means a yogi who can keep his mind steady in the midst of all circumstances, let's put it that way, who doesn't get perturbed and fearful and fluttered by it. Such a yogi, says the Gita, is considered a great yogi. Yukta iti uchyate yogi. We consider such a yogi as the greatest of yogis. Now, there is this thing about, suppose I am in a state of internal enjoyment in Samadhi, let's say. Everything else is closed and I am enjoying something within me completely. Okay. After that, when I come back to the world, am I still in that state of mind of balancing both the positive and the negative? Or is it possible for me to be that only in the state of Samadhi? So, attaining the state of calmness and tranquility in Samadhi or in meditation is only the first step. After that, it should become part of your being so that even in the midst of all activity, the mind remains steady. While the first one will help you to attain the second, until the second is attained, you cannot say you're free. This is exactly what, because you can't be free if you're dependent on Samadhi to be free. It has to be now when one is not in Samadhi. Now this is exactly the question discussed by the sage Ashtavakra with Janaka, the king of Videha, who says that now I am free because I can go into Samadhi at any time as instructed by my teacher Yajnavalkya. So Ashtavakra says, so when you come out, do you come out of it? Yes, I come. So when you come out of it, you are dependent on it. You need to go back to it. He said, yes, then you are not free. If you want to know more about it, please read the Ashtavakra Gita. But also read other things. Read not only that. Like people want to study Vedanta, they first go and read Yoga Vasishta. This is not a good idea. Where did my paper go? Okay. So, Suhrana, Mitre, Udasina, Madhyastha, Dvesha Bandheshu, Bandhusu, Sadhusau, Apicha Papeshu, Samabuddhir Vishishyate. Specially to be noted is excellence in excellence, specially to be noted as the excellent yogi, is one who is even-minded in outlook towards friend and foe, on comrade and stranger, on the neutral and on the ally, on the good and even the evil. Tall order. A yogi whose mind is settled as described above, before, he is really an excellent yogi when in his even-mindedness he behaves the same with a friend or a foe. Well, it's difficult to follow to the line, bless them that curse you and so on, but attempt can be made. So, a yogi is one who is even-minded. He might pretend to be friends with somebody, but he has no friends. But also he has no enemies. He is free. No enmity at all. And on the ally, somebody is helping, somebody is on your side. But even if somebody is not on my side, it's okay. I'm not talking about me, I mean the yogi. Such a yogi looks even at something that is terrible as good, looks only at the good side of it, does not look at the bad side. Look, somebody may be the worst person on earth or doing the worst things possible. Yeah, okay, keep at a distance so that you are not hurt, agree. But from the heart, there is no hatred. Why? Because in that person also, the inner self is none other than the Paramatma. Maybe he is going or she is going through certain experiences in life to learn and understand this fact. Yeah, you need to if there's a story of two brahmacharis who were going on a pilgrimage. Suddenly in the forest, a mad elephant came running. So the teacher had taught them that everything is the self, the Supreme Self. Nothing is to be hated, now all is the Supreme Self. So a mad elephant, but there was a mahout sitting on the elephant, of course, holding on to his life. The mad elephant charged, and both the brahmacharis, one of them said, all is Brahman, the elephant, mad elephant, and stood like this. So of course his legs and all got broken. He had to be taken to the hospital. The other fellow ran away. So both of them, the Guru came and said, what? He said, look, Gurudev, you told us everything is the Atman. So I thought the mad elephant was also the Atman. So I just prayed and look at my state. So the Guru said, yes, I said everything is Atman. That fellow who was sitting on the elephant and shouting, move out of the way, move, he is also the Atman. So why didn't you follow him? Use a little bit of practical common sense. The other guy followed him, so he's all right, all his limbs are fine. So be practical on this matter. At the same time, have no hatred in the mind. Just few days back, somebody sent me an email, a very senior officer who's working, posted in Kashmir border in the army. He said he can't handle this because his job is to liquidate the terrorist. I'm doing it as my duty, but my mind, when I go back and sit down, I feel I've finished a life. What am I doing? So, you know this dilemma? So one has to think about it carefully. There are only two options open for a man. If he is very spiritual, he will resign and go back. If not, he has to carry on till his mind improves. And he knows what to do. And so I told him, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it as part of protecting the place where you were born in, which is a storehouse of so much wisdom. So you're doing it that way. Think of it that way. But he said, yes. But I'm not sure if I'm doing it that way or because of the salary that I get. I said, this is something you require to think about. So anyway, what I'm saying is, while all are friends and there are no enemies, be practical. Somebody breaks into your house at night, don't fall at their feet. And now, in this context, I must tell you the story of a really great saint, Yogi. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name was Pavahari Baba. In fact, he ate so less that people thought he was living on air. So he was called Pavahari Baba. He did eat a little bit, but so less that they thought he's surviving on air. So they called him Pavahari Baba. So he used to live in an underground cave dug in a place called Ghazipur. And he would come out once in a day to perform a havan, which means to light the fire and put some offerings into it, then he would go back into his cave. He hardly spoke to anyone. He was a very thin and tall man. I think about 2-3 inches taller than Deepu. And, or Prem. So, it's interesting because, Swami Vivekananda At one time, imagine, Swami Vivekananda, who most people know, and who considered Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as his guru and was very dear to him. Even he, at one point, after the master had passed away, was contemplating on whether he should have another guru. Even he. You know how intimate they were to each other. And yet he got this feeling, maybe I need more guidance, maybe I need a teacher. And that's when he found Pavahari Baba in Gazipur. So he went to him. He spent some time with him, but he was hesitant to ask this question, can you accept me as your disciple? Now that waits, let that remain there. Let me tell about Pavahari Baba. Once, a thief broke into his cave. Imagine, even if you live in a cave, he went there. The reason was that Pavahari Baba used a kamandalu made of brass, and every day he used to clean it, wash it and keep it shining. He also had a long spoon with him, which was made of brass, which he used to pour oblations into the fire. That also he kept nicely polished, clean. So the thief, ignorant fellow, thought that both things are made of gold. So Babaji is keeping this kamandalu and this, so what is the best thing to do? Steal it. So he went into the cave and he stole the kamandalu first. Babaji woke up. So he started running. He ran and Babaji was following him. He said, my God. And Babaji was like 6 feet and 4 inches, and each foot was like his 4 feet. And he was even more scared because in his hand he had that spoon. And he was swinging it like a mace and following him full speed. We ran for a while, then he gave up. He said, not possible. I don't think I can run because he is going to overtake me. So he stopped, fell at his feet, put the kamandalu there. He said, I am very sorry. I committed a big sin. Please forgive me. Don't beat me up, because he saw this tall man with this brass spoon. Don't beat me up. So Pavahari Baba said, foolish man, why would I beat you up? I thought you broke into my cave because I had this kamandalu. Tomorrow you will break in because I have this spoon. So I came to give it to you. Because if you have that, then my troubles are over. So why would I worry? That kind of a man. But the story is interesting because when Swami Vivekananda went to him, and finally he blurted out, I would like to accept you as my guru. He knew that he was with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa for many years. He said, okay, come inside my cave. That was the first time. Come. He took him there. And then he said, this is my God. And on the altar which he had, there was a picture of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa dancing in ecstasy, smiling like this. He said, this is my God, you really want me to be your guru again? So he said, I'm sorry. I was under some illusion. I'm very sorry. And came away. So this is possible, that there are such people, but if you run away with my Rolex, I'll run behind you. Should take it back. Because the person who gave this to me, every time he meets me, he looks if I'm still wearing it will be his greatest disappointment. I can say, well, Tuba took it. So anyway, think you got the point. Yeah, good. Please don't keep an eye. So, yogi unjita satatam atmanam rahasi stitah ekaki yatta chittatma nirashir aparigraha. So therefore, let a yogi constantly practice spiritual communion. Now comes the practical. After saying the background, how one should live in order to be able to meditate. Says, therefore, let the yogi constantly practice contemplation, spiritual communion. How? Residing alone in a solitary spot, desireless, not attached to his possessions, and disciplined in body and mind. Therefore, having covered all this background and understood, may the yogi who wants to contemplate sit in a quiet place, in ekagrata, alone, ekaki, rahasistita, and remain in solitude, in rahasya, in secret, desireless, possessionless, and disciplined in body and mind. Nirashir aparigraha, with simple things in life. So now the question is, daily in my life I cannot do this. So you could set apart some time of your rest of the time, live as far as possible as discussed. Then, when you want to contemplate, set apart a place for yourself where you can go and sit without anybody disturbing you, at least for short periods of time. Especially in the beginning it helps. Because in the middle of everything you may not be able to do it. So set apart a place where you can go and contemplate. If nothing works, you can come here and contemplate. But some of you live far away from here. So keep some place near your place where you can go and sit down. People have holiday homes, have meditation homes. It would be nice to have one near the lake where you can finish your work and go and sit. Like Christine has one in Texas near Graham Lake. See the birds coming, going, meditate. So the advice is, let a yogi constantly practice spiritual communion, residing alone in a solitary spot, desireless, possessionless except for a dog, and disciplined in body and mind. So, now, how should he sit down? What kind of place it should be? What level to sit? Everything has been described now in detail. This we like. We don't want the other things. This we want. So, sucho deshe pratishtapya stiram asanam atmana na atuchritam na atichinam chailajina kushottaram tatraikagraham manakritva yata chittendra kriya upavishyasena yunjad yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. That means in a clean spot, which is neither too high nor too low. It means slightly lower than this. Neither too high nor too low. A seat should be made. That's also described. a seat should be made with kusha grass. Please don't say, I didn't meditate because I couldn't get kusha grass. You can use a blanket folded in 4 times, more than enough. It is described this way. Kusha grass, spread over with either a skin or a cloth. Those days, they used to have a deer skin put and sit on that. Now again, don't say this is why I hunt deer. I can get the skin to meditate on. Kusha grass spread over with the skin and then on that on a cloth. What it simply means is to find a asana which will be yours throughout, which will not be neither too hard nor too soft, comfortable. Firmly seated on it. The yogi should practice spiritual communion with mind, with complete attention, and putting an end to the imaginative faculty of the mind, all the daydreamings and everything that goes on, and the senses under control. Why would you practice this? For self-purification. For Atma Vishuddhaye, to purify the self. Now, the true self is already purified. There is nothing to purify. It's the mind that covers it that needs to be purified. The real Atman is already Vishuddhi. Nothing to purify. So when they say here, it means the self that we normally mistake to be the real self, that needs to be purified, so that the real self manifests itself. Then, having discussed the seat and the solitary place and so on, where you can build your kutir, is a place like that in Ongole? No. Then, what should we do? This posture is described. Next. The posture. How? Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam stira samprekshya nasikagram swam dishascha anavalokayam. Which means holding the body, head and neck erect, motionless and firm. You don't have to look for anywhere else to find out how to sit, The 6th chapter of the Gita is very clear about it. Holding the body erect with head and neck on the same line, motionless and firm, gazing at the tip of the nose. Now, the gazing at the tip of the nose need not necessarily be gazing only at the tip of the nose, because the next sentence explains why you are doing it. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Any one point is essential. Why? Because then the mind doesn't go roundabout and stays in one place. This is why. Fearless, serene, fearless. So find a kutir where you're sure a tiger is not going to spring. Otherwise, how will you meditate? I'm fixing my attention here. Who's coming? It's a safe place. And then, gazing at the tip of the nose and not round and round about, fearless, serene, restrained in mind. Chewing gum and meditation won't go together. So, restrained in mind, otherwise you're meditating. Restrained in mind and established in the vow of continence, which means established in the vow of not allowing your energies to be wasted. This is what it means. That means staying all your energies together in one place. He should sit in spiritual communion, looking at the Supreme as the highest and most precious goal. Method of sitting has been described. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyotumanasa santini nirvana paramam mat samstham adhigacchati. With the mind restrained from going towards outer objects and always uniting with the idea of the Supreme in spiritual communion, the yogi attains to peace, which is supreme salvation, and remains established in his true state. So, when the mind therefore settles down in quietness, it gets absorbed and only the supreme spiritual being remains, then the yogi attains to peace, supreme peace, and remains in my state forever. Krishna is saying remains in my state forever because then he realizes that the Supreme Being is my true essence and lives in that peace. Now the 16th sloka has a few more rules and regulations. Says Krishna, this yoga, success in yoga, in the yoga that I have described, is not for him who eats too much and who starves himself. It is not also for those who always sleep and not for those who keep awake all the time. It means if you have to succeed in this meditation, which has been described, whose background has already been laid before, and which has been described, the technique has been described, then there are certain rules to be followed if it needs to succeed. What is that? Neither eat too much nor starve yourself. And neither sleep too much nor keep vigil all the time. Simply it means the golden rule of moderation. You can watch Netflix, but don't watch Netflix all the night, throughout the night, or Amazon or whatever they do. Eating, eat just sufficient so that you feel okay. Don't say I feel, because some people never feel full. You stop somewhere. For the yogis, the best advice is what my teacher taught me, is when you sit down to eat, before you feel that I am full, stop. That has helped me a lot. Before you feel, except sometimes when a ghee cooks, it's a little difficult. But I manage somehow. Also anything, enjoy, but draw a line, it's enough. Even sleep. It's nice to sleep. You know why? Because Sushupti is nearest to Turiya. So it's nice to sleep. But don't, if you are asleep, then you are not enjoying the Turiya. But sleep sufficiently. Don't suddenly get up in one day and say, from tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and start meditating. If you are going to work in the office, please watch, there are other people on the road. Right? So moderation is essential. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chetasya karmasu, yukta swapnapabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. For those who are controlled or moderate or temperate in their food as well as in their recreation, did not say not to have recreation. Those who are moderate in food and in recreation, who are detached and self-restrained, even though they work, one who is regulated in sleep and staying awake. Yoga for such a person brings about the cessation of the travails of samsara, of this world. Now, even if the travails of samsara are not brought to an end till then, if you don't over it, many of your travails are brought to an end. Also, if you don't starve, you cannot expect to meditate with a stomachache or when you are so hungry that you cannot fix your attention. It's not possible. So these are all practical suggestions. I sit down to meditate. Hunger is gnawing. You know what happened to the Buddha, the great Buddha? Once upon a time he was a Shravana, which means torture the body to attain moksha. And for days he had not eaten any food. And then it suddenly occurred to him, this is not the way, it cannot be. So he went somewhere and accepted a little bit of food which was offered by a kind lady. He ate that food. His mind settled down. He sat under the peepal tree and declared, now I have found it. Now, you have to be very careful. Some people say, I'm going to stop eating. No solution. Your mind will be distracted when you meditate. And eat too much, you will fall asleep. You will not meditate. So try to stay in the moderate line somewhere. It's good to be the middle path. Don't try extremes, because one gives up very easily. One tries, then one gives up. I know people who first take Kriya and say, I'm going to do 4 times a day Kriya. I'm telling you, at least once a day, can you do it? No, we will do 4 times a day. Yeah, then it becomes 3, then it becomes 2, then there is nothing. Once a day can be doing. No? I know you are smiling. We have many good friends here, old friends, taken Kriya and practice religiously, only on that day. So, yada viniyattam chittam atmani eva avasishtate nispruha. Rubbed off. Nispruha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tadha. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyeva visishtate nisprushaha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tadha. When the disciplined mind, as described above, is able to remain established in the Atman alone, in the awareness of the Atman alone, when there is no longing for anything else, when it is fully established in self, then that person is spoken of as having attained to spiritual communion. When one is able to sit with his mind completely quiet, established in the inner self, with no desire for anything else except in being in its own essence, then that yogi is supposed to have attained spiritual communion. Okay? And how is the mind of such a yogi? Yatha dipo nivataste Nyangate sopamana smrita yogino yatta chittasya yunjato yogamatmana. The mind of such a yogi is like the flame of a lamp, sheltered when the wind does not flicker it. This is the comparison used to describe a yogi's mind that is well under control and has touched the Atman. Like a flame when there is no wind, so that it doesn't flicker ever, steady, straight. The mind of a yogi who has reached that state is described like that. That state in which the chitta, the mind, has no movement whatsoever, is still in the practice of yoga, where it finds complete rest, where it experiences the joy of the spirit, born of the essence of the spirit. This is the state into which the yogi goes while he meditates. Now there are a few more descriptions of that state, but after that we will do it in the afternoon. After the description is over, Arjuna asks a simple question. He says, all that is okay. He doesn't say these words. All that is fine. You saying the mind has to be like a flame when there is no wind, this is not possible for me. So what do I do? What do people like me do? Are we neither here nor there? Are we lost forever? And then the rest is about that. Simple question. So may be useful for us, right? I think you're enjoying it more than the Upanishad. You see, the whole aim is enjoyment. All what? Really? No. I don't believe it. You are the fountainhead of all joy. What? Don't say that. Don't let your lower mind take control of you. Say that if my essence is the supreme reality, which is Satchidananda, Ananda, then I cannot be this sorrow. I have to get out of this. Identification. It's merely a question of identification. A shift. I'll tell you the story of, there was a great Sufi saint, a Sufi mystic, called Jalaluddin Rumi. He lived in Turkey. Even now there is his tomb in Konya, if you go. He was the one who invented the whirling dervish dance, where people whirl while they dance. But he also said it is not meant for everybody. It's meant for those with a phlegmatic disposition. This is exactly what he said. Anyway, now Rumi, in his Masnavi, one of his poem, there's a beautiful statement. Somebody went to see the Supreme. He knocked at the door because the door was closed. And the voice came from inside, "Who are you?" He said, "I am your devotee who longs to see you." He said, "Go back. I cannot see you." Tried this twice. Third time, he understood. When he knocked, and when the question was asked, "Who are you?" he said, "It is you." Then the door opened. So don't think of you, you think that you. There's also another beautiful text called The Conference of the Birds. If you, in the Arabic language, it is Manti Kuttair, Conference of the Birds. And the writer of that was a Sufi whose name was Attar. Fariduddin Attar. Attar actually means chemist. Didn't mean perfume. Perfume maker is a chemist. So it's called the Conference of the Birds. So the leader takes a whole group of birds in search of the truth. All the conference of all the birds together, they select the hoopoe bird as the leader, as the teacher. So the hoopoe takes them all around, all adventures take place. They're searching for the truth, search everywhere. Finally they climb the hill. And on the hill, there is something covered with 2 or 3 curtains. One by one, the hoopoe removes the curtains. They're all looking for the truth, right? One by one, when the final curtain is removed, there is only a mirror there. And the hoopoe says, "This is you. This is the truth." So, clean the mirror. The whole process here is cleaning the mirror. And that's why people don't like spiritual teachers, if they are genuine, because they clean the mirror and show it to you. You don't like what you see.
You talked about the subtle cravings in one of the chapters, how to get rid of that. I can understand that.
We'll come back. I'll start with that when we start the next session. How to clear the mind of all the kalpanas. Okay, see you in the afternoon. So, we are only having one more session in the afternoon. I can stretch it a bit, make it longer, but one more session because some of the volunteers would like to, they're working hard, they are not attending the satsang, so they would like to meet me for 15-20 minutes if you say so. Thank you.